Let me first thank Peter Singer for his participation in this occasion. It has been its pleasure to be able to talk about these things in a civilized forum. It's immensely difficult for us to do that when we have strongly held beliefs, and I want to say how much I appreciate those who participated and who have been quiet in our discussion, as well as those who have left after making their points, because I think we have to respect each of us however we feel we can best participate in this difficult conversation. I want to make 3 or 4 quick comments and then a concluding remark. Since Peter Singer launched this international aid development salvo at the end, the gloves are taken off, and I will refer, and of course he can't answer now, to the fact that when some of you have heard in the radio show earlier this week with Michael Krasny, Peter Singer gladly acknowledged his principial support for bestiality, sexual relationships of humans, and I thought very curiously, plainly unconsenting animals, or at least how one reads animal consent, is an interesting question. But having responded in kind, 1 or 2 quick comments on this debate. Brain death issue, the jury is out on brain death from my point of view. I'm unconvinced by the ready acceptance of some 20 years ago of criteria which essentially have determined that persons who still have beating hearts and functioning organs are to be regarded as dead, particularly as the reason why we have done that is to secure a supply of organs for transplantation. I'm uneasy about it. I'm unconvinced on either side. It seems to me it's a matter for further study, and I accept this is an issue which is not easily resolved. Secondly, are we to say that because the Dutch legislature and the Belgians following them think that their euthanasia regime is a good idea, that because the burghers of Amsterdam approve this, all sane persons are going to approve it, when in the first draft of this legislation, children as young as 12 and 13 years old would have been allowed without parental consent to opt for euthanasia. What we see in Holland is the radical corruption of Western civilization, and it's very interesting. Many persons who favor euthanasia have gone visiting, like the British House of Lords Select Committee, loaded with pro-euthanasia people, came back from Holland and said, we don't want euthanasia in this country. Thirdly, animal suffering. I don't think those who favor the animal liberation argumentation need be left to claim the moral weight of this argument, because historically there has been a major concern on the part of our culture for animal welfare. If we are inconsistent, if the suffering of individual animals, let us say in the food production chain, is a matter that has not been adequately addressed, let us address it. We can well address it within the framework of the commitment we have to the uniqueness of human life. Fourthly, the question of the killing of handicapped babies. Should the baby live? No. I find Peter Singer's justification of this essentially in his buy-in to the pro-life argumentation in respect of the continuity of unborn and born human life, which does seem to me to be a statement of the utter obvious. But the continuity of unborn and born human life to be profoundly disturbing. Because, of course, it is one thing to say that the same legitimacy which is held in law to attach to a mother's right to choose to end the life of her fetus with serious handicap should be extended after birth. The logic of that position is that, therefore, the mother's right in law to end the life of her normal fetus for extraneous reasons should be extended after birth also. And what we have here, of course, is the rebirth of the Roman notion of the power of the father to kill his children, which is one of those many features of life in the ancient world that the gospel of Jesus Christ and the triumph of the Judeo-Christian worldview got rid of. But to pull these things together, this is, of all the debates in which we can engage, this is the clearest debate between different views of the world. It's a worldview debate. There are inconsistencies, there are untidinesses on both sides of the stage today. Neither of us is coming with a position which is easy to defend at all points, and which has clarified all of its internal contradictions, and I don't think either of us would claim that. Seems to me, however, and I pick up here my point about the utility of Peter Singer to this debate, which as a utilitarian I think he should appreciate, utter utility of him to this debate is in values clarification. Because there is no better conversation into which we can get if we want to understand the significance of the big decisions facing the modern world in its handling of the significance of human life and human dignity. In the Judeo-Christian view of the world, we have God the Creator, we have a world made by Him, we have human beings made by Him in His own image, which would be an utter blasphemy were it not there in Holy Scripture. Human beings of the kind, this is why these war graves in Rwanda and eastern Bosnia are so significant, because these bones being unearthed are of men and women made in the image of God. We have man, male and female, humankind set to rule the world, not as something for our own benefit, but as stewards of God, to whom we must give account. And therefore in our use of the wider environment and of the animal orders, as of our fellow human beings, accountability, moral responsibility is the key. But within that view of the world, there are, of course, many matters to be addressed. Issues of medical futility, issues of resourcing, issues of international development, how it is we spend money coming to this debate, rather than sending it off to save the life of a child in Central Africa. Those issues remain to be addressed. The choice we have to make, the choice facing the Western world, is whether we go this way or that, whether we begin with an intuitive commitment on theological or other grounds to the unique dignity, the indivisible dignity of those who are members of Homo sapiens, the human species, or whether we do not. Thank you.
Let me extend thanks to both Peter Singer and Nigel Cameron for an excellent, spirited, illuminating debate. I don't know that we witnessed a debate of the century, but we certainly witnessed an extraordinary debate this evening by both. Also, thanks to the Center for Bioethics and Culture and the Life Legal Defense Fund for sponsoring this evening, and thanks very much to all of you. Good evening.